Hello, my name's Chris Kurzik, and I'm the Principal Engineer at Athabasca Engineering Solutions, AES for short. And what does AES do? Well, first of all, we provide third-party value evaluations. We provide training and certification. We provide equipment re-rating.
Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the changes in the 2024 edition from the 2022 edition. And we're not going to go through every single one, but we're going to go through some of the key ones that we thought that were interesting and important to have a look at. So the first thing we look at is changes in the units. The second one is the use of metallic hoses. Tables A1 and A1C, the allowable stresses, sustained stress indices, listed fittings, high pressure piping. Now, before I jump into this, you should note that ASME codes, every time they publish a new edition, they always create a summary of changes, and sometimes they will also publish a red line, and they will add a lot more commentary and information about the changes so you can see it line by line. So here's an example here. It's for what was found in B31.3. This is not a complete list, just a few examples to give you a few ideas. So in here they may say, the change, it's been a revision, or this is brand new, or they might have a little bit of a summary of what sections, subparagraphs, excuse me, are changed within that. And what I want to show you here is it's called margin notes. So whenever they make a change now, they put in brackets in the column like the edition it was changed. That's really quite helpful, so it can give you some little bit of breadcrumbs of what's been changed, and you can see it quickly. So this is what we mean by the margin note that we saw earlier. It shows up right here in this corner, right there. And so when you see that, you know that was a change, an addition, or a revision from the 2022 to the 24 version. Now they added a section here on the use of fractions to provide some clarifications because they had nothing before that. So if you read that note, they talk about a fractional inches and how it meets the code requirements if the measured value is within 1/64th of an inch. And if you go to Appendix F, paragraph F 300.1.5, there's a little bit more commentary on the use of fractions. Next one is metallic hoses. It's found in F306. And it says they added an addition. They said references the Energy Institute publication guidelines for the management of flexible hose assemblies. And here it is right there. So this is new. The next one is quite interesting, and it's not apparent at first when you open the pages to the 2024 version, but they've rearranged the tables A1 and A1C. As you recall, it used to be A1 and AM1 were originally table A1 were changed to A1 and A1C. So they used to have the A1 used to be the U.S. customary units, and table A1M followed. The second set of tables was for metric. And so what they did is they decided to put the metric tables first, and then the U.S. customary units in the second table. They dropped in the metric one, the M from the metric, And then on the A1 table, which it now becomes the A1 customary units. And this is to align with the other ASME specification requirements. So again, A1 SI units is now placed ahead of the table A1C USC units. And some notes here, you can see how in the 2022 version, it was like this, and now it's laid out that way. It's been swapped and relayed. So the allowable stress tables have had some subtle changes, okay? So the first thing is the material description, that rows that we saw in the 22 have now changed to a nominal composition column. And the material form, which is like, is it a pipe or a plate, has now changed to a product form column. So basically you can see it here. So in yellow, we see that they have the material description and then followed by the product form, and they have it in a row. Now, if you take a look at the next one, over here you see the nominal composition has moved over from here to here, and basically the product material form has changed to product form column. So they added a table called Note 65, and it applies to ASTM A105, and that's the basic flange material. It's non-impacted material, and it's referenced in those tables as a note. And what's interesting about that is they said in this, they said for the use under this code, the designer should consider the additional requirements for flanges, which is the A105, when the design minimum temperature is colder than minus 18 degrees centigrade or 0. So what they're looking at is, if we go over to that section there, so they're talking about the range from minus 29 to minus 18. And in particular, they're talking about the classes 150 and 300 pound weld and neck flanges, and they're calling for an improved toughness in that range, which wasn't there before. The improved toughness was below minus 29, and now they have this requirement. And so, as such, the flanges have to be produced to what they call a fine grain practice, and having a material treated after forging normalized, tempered, and quenched and tempered. Now, under the Canadian code, CSA B51, there's additional requirements for Charpy impact testing, an increased requirement at the same time. So that's beyond the scope of this video, but it's in the 2024 edition. Sustained stress indices, that's found in 320.1. And it's been revised. So what they did is they changed from using a stress indice, this is from 0.75i to 1.0 as default values in the absence of more applicable data for sustained stress indices. And they refer to ASME B31.3 for default values. And that's shown here in I here. It says it shall be not less than unity. And so these are the indices for the equations for sustained loads. And so they made these changes to the rules. Okay, so the section under listed fittings, and recall that there are such things as listed fittings and unlisted fittings. And listed fittings are those standards that fittings that are made to standards that are recognized by ASME B31.3. Unlisted is just basically the corollary of that, which is ones that that haven't been recognized. So in this edition, they added the following as recognized to the list: ASME B1651 and as ASTM F320 322.6 press connect fittings. And then they added API 623 globe valves are now listed. The other one is MSS SP68 high pressure butterfly valves. And what's been deleted is BS 6501-1 metal hose standards. So they've made a number of changes and realignments to the different standards and different criteria. And some jurisdictions like TSSA in Ontario have even more to say about the design requirements for the hoses. And that's all to do with safety. So under high pressure piping found in the Annex K, is allowable stresses have been revised, and I'm referring to Appendix K and 302.3.2. So basically what they did is they've aligned the high pressure piping to the 2023 edition of the ASME boiler pressure vessel code, section 8 division 3, which is the highest of like the highest pressure rating design. There's 3 divisions 1, 2, and 3. And if you want to know more about some more high levels about the boiler pressure vessel code and the section 8 and the different divisions, I have a video in our library if you wish to see that. So basically what they did is they added this this factor here called the KUT, which is called the hydrostatic test pressure upper limit factor. And they said, well, if you take your allowable yield stress over your tensile, and that ratio is less than 0.7, then you can use this value as 0.95. Now, if you take that same stress ratio and you're in between 0.7 and equal or less than 0.9, then you would follow this equation here, a little bit more complicated, and you would get the UT value. And then the final one is 0.866 for SY over ST, which is greater than 0.9 for that really.
I hope that you found this presentation useful and valuable to you. This was provided by Athabasca Engineering Solutions. We'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts on further videos. And we'd love to hear from you. Maybe we can do some business. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a thing. Take care for now.